The entire trick to the chain rule is recognizing which functions are put inside of other functions. And once you have that, the formula for the chain rule is actually pretty easy. G of f of x equals g prime of f of x times f prime of x. But there's another way of thinking about this. You could call this function g of u. You could say u is equal to f of x, and then the derivative of g of u with respect to x equals dg du times du dx. This is actually a little bit more technical about how the chain rule is formalized. It often looks like this. More so than that, you could say that x is another function, say y of y. In which case your chain rule formula, if you were to take the derivative of g with respect to y, would now be d by dy of g of u equals dg du times du dx times dx dy. Notice what I have going on here. Basically, I'm setting a variable equal to an entire function, and the variable of that function is set equal to another function. This is perfectly legit mathematics, and it's something that you should get comfortable doing. Now when we take our function, g equals sine third of x, what do we really have here? We have sine of x squared raised to the third. So we could say g of u equals u to the third. We could say u equals, or u of x equals sine of x squared. Actually, it would be a little bit better to say u of y equals sine of x squared. And I'm going to make the necessary changes over here so you can get the picture. Keep in mind our x's, y's, u's, they're whatever we want them to be basically, as long as we're self-consistent. But I would prefer to be consistent in my writing to help you guys understand easier. Alright, so u of y equals sine of x squared. Y of x equals x squared. Now that we have that, we need all our different derivatives. G prime of u equals 3u squared. U prime of y equals cosine. Actually, made another little mistake here. This would be sine of y. Cosine of y. And y of x equals 2x. Let me take these three functions that I have here. I'm going to switch my color really quick. Now if we take g of u and write u to the third, but instead of putting u, we're going to put in parentheses, raise it to the third. We're going to do the same thing with sine of y. We'll write out the sine, but instead of writing y, we'll write the x squared. And we get back our original function. So that's where this all comes from. Now that I have my different derivatives, I can put them into my chain rule formula here. So the d by dx of g of u equals dg du, which is 3u squared, but now I'm going to substitute my u, which is sine of y, and of course substituting my y, which is x squared, so sine squared of x. So that's my dg du. Now my du dy, u prime of y, is cosine of y. Y again still being x squared. So that's that portion of the formula. This is this portion of the formula. Now my dy dx, derivative of y with respect to x, is 2x. So 3 times sine squared of x squared times cosine of x squared times 2x equals the derivative. Hopefully that was a little bit more illustrative for you.